So oil is plunging right now, down $2. Despite new U.S. sanctions on Iran, what does the oil market know? The futures are down even more, twice as much, in fact. Something's happening with the oil market. It's very, very interesting. Is happening on the cusp of some very unique things going on globally and economically right now. This is the rial to the dollar, and this is real life for Iranian leadership, because this is the lifeline for power over their nation. You are cooked, bro. Buddy, you are cooked. When your currency becomes worthless, when people have no food. We saw the CIA director making moves today in Moscow. We'll get to that in just a second, because I think what's happening right now is a grand strategy. What's happening right now is a grand plan. The administration is putting together a grand plan for ending all of these wars simultaneously. Iran is in sort of an axis with Russia and China. China has promised to be kind of hands-off on this kind of stuff, even though they're very angry about the sanctions. And the rial is really dead. It is 2 million rials for every $1. The currency is down 31% in one day, 97% in 1 year. It's behaving like a meme stock. 10%, 97% in 10 years, and 99% all time. Iran is grinding down to nothing. And when people are hungry, that's when they revolt. When people can't get electricity, that's when they revolt. The basic structure of a government, any government, doesn't matter what kind of government it is. You could be the King of France. Did the King of France have more power than all the Ayatollahs and like our president? Yes, absolutely. And he still got his head chopped off. Trust me, it takes one populous moment when people are hungry. And then you're finished. Beset unveils sanctions designed to cripple Iran, and it's working. We saw the sanctions yesterday. Donald Trump posting on Truth Social. U.S. pushes world to final economic blow with broke Iran, all out of Mullah. Okay. Battling Iran, the squeeze, poison snake. Donald Trump saying that the U.S. Navy has cleared all the mines and detonated them in the international waters in Hormuz. Iran has been notified that any ship or boat placing new mines will immediately be systematically destroyed. Through Space Force, we are watching every square inch of the strait, as we are also with Pickaxe Mountain already destroyed 3 other nuclear sites. Zero tolerance policy, mine placement in full effect. Well, it's actually working. What I mean here is, like, we've talked about the sanctions, we've talked about the military action. It's working. Now you're going to have to go with me here, right? Because Iran is back at the negotiating table. Iran does not want to be at a negotiating table. Iran wants to watch Trump lose the midterms. They want to watch America go down in flames. The last thing they want is to be begging. Somebody get these beggars out of here. And this is what they're doing. Iran sets Hormuz conditions through Pakistan. Oh, so suddenly the whole, we will never negotiate with the great Satan. Now they're begging for a deal. Again, get a load of this. They're begging for the return to the MOU. A source close to Iran's negotiating team told the news source that Pakistan's army chief carried no U.S. threat during his visit and instead sought to reopen negotiations. Iran reportedly outlined the Strait of Hormuz conditions, including a U.S. return to the Islamabad Agreement, the MOU, and implementation of Clause 5. Pakistan is expected to relay Tehran's position to Washington today. So here we go. Batting the ball back around. Treasury Secretary saying that Iran's own president acknowledges that the war must come to an end. And no matter how much military power we have, if the people are hungry, we don't have financial circulation, economic growth, and domestic production, we will not endure. So the Treasury Secretary making graphics of Iranian leaders, high-ranking Iranian leaders, former head of the IRGC, saying, we're cooked, dude. We're cooked. The Treasury has made every facilitator, and every network of Iran has used to smuggle oil and evade sanctions. Beginning today, we took the actions to block other agencies who tighten the noose around the Iranian regime. We are enforcing a zero leakage approach, and there will be no breathing space. Again, this is the guy who collapsed currencies with George Soros. Say what you will about him. This is the guy who systematically ended and choked out some of the smartest people in finance and destroyed the British pound and, took legal maneuvers in order to make enormous amounts of money and to ruthlessly exploit weaknesses in systems, this is the guy you want running this game. Bassett said China will get no free pass if they facilitate transactions, turn Iranian oil into revenue. They will be targeted. We know who you are. We know what you are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Bassett's gambit playing off. U.S. yields extend slide. 10-year falls 6 basis points. Uh-oh. Here we go. And now, look at this. Oman's minister just left Tehran and says soon they will announce a temporary corridor for the Strait of Hormuz alongside practical measures to restore navigation. Look at that. Following the talks with Iranian foreign minister in Tehran, they said a permanent agreement for managing the strait will come after the MOU is returned to. So we're back at the MOU. You remember UFC, the day that UFC was at the White House? I was actually at the White House that day, and I posted a video of white smoke coming up from the White House. I said, this means an MOU was signed. And then an MOU got signed like 60 minutes later. So there you go. Discussion with regional partners will be conducted in support of a peace operation, stability, and freedom of navigation. So here they are. There they are in Tehran, Oman and Iran meeting, talking about peace. Okay. We'll soon announce a temporary corridor through the Strait of Hormuz, practical arrangements to restore safe navigation, future management of the strait, a permanent solution to follow due course. So this is Iran coming back. And at the same time, you have U.S. military planes landing in Moscow. The CIA director was in Moscow working with what has to be Vladimir Putin or somebody very high up in Moscow to start talks about a Ukraine deal. I can see Putin trying to make a deal with the U.S. I can't imagine any talks between Ukraine and Russia directly, but if they're serious about it, this is why you would send the CIA director. Here we go, breaking literally seconds ago. The U.S. has proposed canceling the new Operation Economic Outcast, lifting all sanctions and ending the U.S. blockade in exchange for Iran opening up the Strait of Hormuz, stopping all attacks on its proxies, and citing senior source. Well, Iran's conditions, however, remain unchanged. $300 billion in U.S. compensation, complete lifting of all U.S. sanctions, release of Iranian frozen assets, the end of the blockade, the troop withdrawal from the entire region, comprehensive regional ceasefire, Lebanon and Gaza. This is the MOU. So you just said, we want the MOU back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can have it for all I care. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. All these countries can sink into the ocean. I want my country to be strong. I want gas to be $2 a gallon or less. I want the economy to get rip-roaring. I want grocery prices to be cut in half. I want home prices to be cut in half. Or more accessible to everyone. I don't care. I want young people to get in homes and cheap gas and groceries. And so keep your MOU. Doesn't matter to me. Do it. Do it. But it's working. The gambit is working. That's what's the most important here. It's pretty awesome. And Iran is now back, begging. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.